You know what? This is my first ever Dr. Fate figure in action figure form. Never got one before. I know he was released for Mattel, and I think he was also released a few times through DC Direct. I'm not 100% sure, but I never got a figure of him before. Although I knew of him. Hope, well, it's not making as nearly as much of a sound. I hope it's working itself in. One can only hope. Oh, no. But I got him yesterday along with Superman. I don't know if his look is based off the Silver Age or Bronze Age for me to give you an exact because I never really read up on him. Like I said, I know of him. I know he is DC's Sorcerer Supreme. And he was created way before Doctor Strange, who was Marvel's Sorcerer Supreme. It was created in the 1940s by a comic company named More Fun Comics. So I'm not sure if they were separate from DC or if they were one and the same. I'm not sure on that. And I should be ashamed of myself. But in my defense, I don't know too much about Dr. Fate. Mcfarlane did several Dr. Fate figures. I think a few were based on the Injustice video game, which I never really played, even though I got them for free through PlayStation Store that they gave it to us years ago. And I'm not really too fond of fighting games. Even though I hear that people love those games, I'm just not too fond of them. So it gave us two nice looking figures based on that, but I still never purchased him. And he also gave us a movie version of Dr. Fate based off the Black Adam film. Black Adam was alright. It wasn't my it wasn't bad. I wouldn't have spent money to go to the movies to go see it, but the movie wasn't bad. It was pretty good. So I'm just glad that he gave us a comic version based off, you know, Dr. Fate. So it says, so this is the digital Mcfarlane figure of Dr. Fate based off the Justice League of America, Dr. Fate. So that's, comes with a digital card. Here's a side. Like I said, it says Silver Age. I am not sure. That's the back of the box. Because I love the art. I wish more toy companies, when they're giving us an action figure, give us art in the back. Especially if it's based off an animation or a comic book. Do that. Give us some nice art. So he came from Washington, D.C. Because when I got this Superman figure, I ordered him 2 days later through the GameStop app. So I was like, you know what, before I lose out, they're like way expensive. Whoops. It's a little stiff. I just ordered him. No regrets, to be honest. Here's the downside to that. The figure is really nice looking. The colors pop. I like the cape. I'm not gonna lie. Has a nice sheen to it. I've never had a problem with figures having bright colors compared to making this like gold when it's supposed to be, it should be more comic accurate. It's why we read comics. We like the colors. It pops. It's eye pleasing. It's pleasing to the eye. But this figure only came with the digital card, which for me it's useless. I don't mind that it's there, but I don't use it. A stand. And his card. I'm not sure if it's clear for you guys. But that's it. No extra hands, no flight stand, not even a comic book. I I'm not sure who's making the decisions on how to release these figures because now he's, even though it's a digital figure, it's under the banner of Justice League, and I think he's the first that has the tag Justice League on it, which has me stumped and confused on who makes the decisions on how these figures or waves are released. But since I'm suffering from FOMO, which is it's one of our bad things as human beings, especially if you're into collecting, which I'm gonna have to start, reining myself in. I love my action figures, but they're getting quite expensive now to acquire, and then you have to factor in shipping. Because had I bought these from Best Buy, the last figures that I bought from Best Buy, they didn't charge me shipping. But since I got them, the last two figures from GameStop, they it was like an $8 charge. So look to spend about 40 for a $28 figure. And if the figure is actually 40 themselves, unless you have like their savings card, you're going to spend quite a bit. But I think that if you have their, what do you call that? Their membership, the shipping is free. So just might look into that, but you got to pay $25 a year for that. So is it really, well, depending. Yeah, if you order a lot from them, then the $25 a year you'll be saving. And these are the only two figures I got from GameStop. So I'm going to see going forward if that's something that I might look into in the future. But $28, 28.99, no extra hands, no accessories, no extra head sculpt, no flight stand. This is the one I bought from Supergirl to show off my Superman favorite figure of all time, aside from the Christopher Reeve. And even still, Superman should have gotten a few more hands with that figure. Dr. Fate. I think the character, there were several characters who went by the name Dr. Fate. Like I said, I haven't read any comics on him. I don't know much about him. I think one of the characters was an archaeologist who found the helmet, and other stuff. But he's supposed to be extremely powerful, which is why I found it strange that he was taken down pretty fast in Black Adam. Maybe I should have said spoiler. Whoops. My bad. But it's a nice. He's nice looking. Even the eyes is kind of creepy, a little bit. Got the ears on the side. Yeah, I don't regret getting this figure. He's my first Dr. Fate. And someone like me who's into magic and horror, those are my favorite genres. So when I'm thinking about watching a movie, that's the genre I go to first. So for me not to have a figure from him, ever, considering that I have a few Doctor Strange figures, I'm stumped that I didn't purchase a figure from him before. But I'm glad that I did it through Mcfarlane. I love cloth capes. Never liked plastic. I hated that it went from cloth from the time I was growing up to plastic when DC Direct started making figures. I know people were saying that they love plastic. I never liked plastic. I never did. And for people who love posing their figures, I'm pretty sure they prefer cloth capes. And look, you can make vehicles for figures if they have cloth capes. That means more money they can be making. You know, you can sit your figures down in their play sets or in their vehicles. Even Masters of the Universe. I had a Scareglow and a King Randor from back in the day, and they had cloth capes. You can't go wrong with that. Yeah, this figure pops. I know there's a collector's edition of Dr. Fate that looks really nice. Shockingly enough, darker blue. He has gold, instead of the yellow. Looks nice, but I rather the comic book look. I'm not gonna lie, I do prefer the colors that pop and where he's not hiding in the background. I just wish he came with more accessories. I hope that there's somebody on eBay that can give us accessories for like Dr. Fate or the Scarlet Witch. Just to, I don't mind spending maybe $15 on a few accessories just to make these figures look, way better. I'm just not sure why we didn't get any with this figure, but if you can come across him at a store for the $27, and if it's something that you like, get it. The $40 that I spent, I don't regret it. I mean, I like the figure as is. I just wish it did came with more accessories. And here, let me do a side-by-side comparison with Bronze Age Superman. Don't fall. Oh, the stand in the back is keeping him up. They look great together. Superman should always be the tallest figure, since he was the first, I'm going to say the first superhero. I'm not sure when Shazam / Captain Marvel was created. Maybe around the same time, more or less. But interestingly enough, Captain Marvel was outselling Superman comics, which is why DC Comics sued them for copyright. He was selling way more comic books than Superman. And I think Batman was already out. So I'm assuming he was outselling Batman as well. So Fawcett Comic Books, who created Captain Marvel, he was the original Captain Marvel for that comic, not for DC Comics. So I see a lot of people online saying that, oh, he's the original Captain Marvel. Yeah, for Fawcett Comics, not DC Comics. So the original Captain Marvel now, since Fawcett Comics don't exist anymore, is going to be Marvel Carol Danvers / Captain Marvel. But that's just me. I'm just being a little nitpicky. They look great together. Yeah, I have no gripes about that. And before I go, I have this weird thing. I've been noticing in a lot of videos of influencers who are showing off a lot of figures, slamming Hasbro, Marvel Legends. And it's kind of frustrating because they're shaming people. I'm going to say people like me who are purchasing like the Maximum Spider-Man figures and stuff. Oh, it's $50 for that. You should, if they're not quality figures, go and spend money on Mayfix or SH Figure Arts. And I'm like, they're twice the price of Hasbro. Are you kidding me? I'm not spending close to 100 or over $100 for a figure that's smaller than Marvel Legends. I'm like, why are you telling? Look, it's the equivalent of, and I said this before, going into Walmart. I love Keurig coffee. I can't. They're way more expensive than, like the K cups Keurig. I get the great value. I cannot afford the Keurig. They're just way too expensive. And the way I drink coffee, sometimes I'll have 2 cups a day, sometimes 3. Granted, I put cream in there that kind of kills the caffeine a bit, but I can't afford the Keurig the way I drink coffee. I mean, it's insane, and shaming people into, oh, you're better off just buying Mayfex. Now, if they were the same price, you would have an argument. If they're the same price, then yeah, you're better off probably buying a Mayfex, but not twice the price or 2.5 times the price. It's insane. So these influencers or people in the comment section saying, get this instead. Yeah, no. I'm not spending a week's, and I say that buying a 12-inch figure years ago, like the Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and the Scarlet Witch. But in my defense, I don't do that often. I could not get into collecting SH Figure Arts or Mayfix at that price. There's just no way. Just no way. Are they nice figures? Some of them are really nice looking. But at that price, and if they break on you, and I can't risk it. It's insane. I just don't like that they're bashing Hasbro. I think action figure collecting is gonna just get expensive all across the board at this point. So we gotta choose our poison, on what we're willing to spend our money on. But at $120 for a Mayfax, yeah, I can't do it. I mean, like I said, I'm fighting a battle within myself in spending that kind of money for a year 2 Batman figure from Tom McFarlane. When he was originally $50, now he's like $160. So I can probably get that and then pay it off in installments. But I could, and that's through Amazon. I cannot do it if I purchase it from Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth or another company. You got to shell out 120 plus whatever shipping just right off the bat. And that is a punch to my face, let alone my gut, and a punch to my wallet. So I'm not shaming people who have the money to purchase that. That's great. But I can't imagine an adult collector who has children, has to pay rent, gas and electricity, spending money on a Mayfex, as the norm. I'm like, yeah, that's a bit steep. So if you're complaining about a $50 action figure, but then trying to get people to spend $100 plus, I'm like, what am I missing here? Unless I'm that gay and I'm not thinking correctly. Oh, thinking straight. Got it. I'm too gay that I can't think straight. Kind of makes sense. Oh well. I love these figures. It's up to you if you think that they're worth the $29, especially that he came with less accessories than Dr. Fate, and none of them came with flight stands. So it's up to you. But I'm gonna be fair. I was collecting them until DCUC, and a lot of them didn't even come with accessories, like the Green Lantern. Although, Todd, you should have given us a Green Lantern accessory with every single Green Lantern figure that you gave us. You don't pick and choose which one. Yeah, it's sad that I'm not even getting a Jade, that I'm thinking about Green Lantern. But I think I've spoken long enough, and your ears must be bleeding by now. Yeah, like I said, it's up to, if you can come across them at a store without having them shipped, will be cool. If there's a GameStop next to you, if you can drive to one, you should be able to find them. But if you go to the GameStop app That's where I got these guys from. So if you don't want to drive there, and if you have their membership or whatever, just pick them up from there. This figure, love, 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 love. I love you, Superman. But yeah, I'm gonna shut up. I really do. I gotta shut up. Anyway, Eric and Silent Collector, I hope you guys are doing great. And anyone else who's taking the time to watch this video, I hope you guys are safe, enjoying your day, and I hope, depending on what state you live in, it's sunny and not raining. We had rain for 3 days straight, but today it's sunny. I'll be able to go for my walk outside, enjoy the air, and make sure you tell your favorite people in your lives that they're important to you and that you appreciate them. The other day, I got a little emotional because somebody sent me a text saying that they appreciated me. I'm like, aww. Sometimes just that alone can brighten up someone's day when you're having a tough time. But anyway, please be at peace and have a great weekend. Bye.